Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Utah Hockey Broadcast. I am Patrick McGann, alongside Anita Tsuchiya, and we're bringing you live coverage from Salt Lake City between the University of Utah and the University of Oregon, as Oregon will play Utah for the first time as a M1 level program.
Welcome back, by the way.
Yes.
I hope you had a nice Thanksgiving with the families.
Yes, yeah, it was a great trip back to the Midwest where I'm from, and I was watching all the Beehive showcase games from Michigan and Chicago. So it was great to watch Utah hockey from across the country. It's almost like it's a national. It is a national broadcast. It is a national broadcast,
right? So it actually could be international anywhere you get YouTube.
Right. So that was awesome watching those games, and it's great to be back. And it's going to be a great weekend of hockey as we have two teams coming up from the Pacific Northwest. M1 level, it's going to be Utah and Oregon, and at the M2 level, it's going to be Utah and Washington. So a great evening of hockey here tonight, and we a little bit of extra thanks tonight because I know there's a big University of Utah football game going on. So if you're watching us, huge thank you, and we're gonna have some great hockey for you here tonight. Oregon, like we said, new to the M1 level, they're trying to get their legs underneath them. They actually wanted to, as Anita, as you can mention after I finish here, they want to join a conference here at the M1 level, and Anita, as you spend a lot of time talking to Chris Perry, the commissioner of the WCHL, and it's not just as easy as, you're in.
Right. So the other thing is that this is our last broadcast before the winter break.
Right.
And also we wanted to welcome our viewers from Eugene, our Ducks fans, as well as our Utes fans. We'll do our best to try and get everybody's names. Fortunately, they're wearing nameplates for us.
Yes.
Thank you so much. You wouldn't believe how many times we look and it's like, oh, it's just numbers. Oh, boy.
Yes, and Oregon, I remember last year when they came in here and played us, they were wearing the same uniforms, the great uniforms. You got the green and the yellow, the classic University of Oregon. You got the duck on there.
The big duck on front.
Yeah, they were some great uniforms. Great to see the nameplates, and happy to have them here. We had a little bit of issues, which we'll probably talk about more in the M2 broadcast, but University of Washington had some flight issues coming into Salt Lake, so we're happy Oregon was at least able to get in on time, and we feel bad for Washington, but we'll take a break here for the national anthem. We'll be right back after this break with Puck Drop here in Salt Lake. Welcome back to the Utah Hockey Broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. Patrick McGann alongside Anita Tsuchiya here in Salt Lake City as we're bringing you coverage between Utah and Oregon this evening as Utah returns to home ice after the Thanksgiving break. They had home games before that Beehive Showcase weekend playing against Arizona State. Not a good weekend for them. They're looking to bounce back here against a independent school. As we mentioned, this isn't a conference game. It won't count against the conference standings, which obviously those games are very important, but this game is just going to consider it maybe not necessarily a friendly. These games will count towards the ACHA rankings, but it has nothing to do with the conference. So, and as we mentioned, Oregon, they're trying to get in that conference. They want it to be a part of that WCHL because it makes scheduling a lot easier and it makes playing makes playing these games a lot easier because then, you don't have to worry about returning trips, right? They're going to be returned and all that sort of thing. So, they want to make it to this league or this conference. And like you said, Chris Perry's let's see what you do first. Eugene's on an easy trip. And, so here we go. Getting ready for puck drop here in Salt Lake City. Langenbrunner takes the draw for Utah. It's won by Oregon, and we're underway with the last couple of games before the holiday break. A one-time shot in front right away. A good save on the doorstep. Puck's bouncing around. A shot pad save, and the whistle's going to blow as the net comes off its moorings right away.
Boy, that was Ethan Light with 2 quick shots right off the bat. Testing our Oregon goalie. It looks like that's Matt Server. Right off the bat. Didn't waste any time. It's kind of almost like they heard you say that Oregon controlled the puck, and then Bryce Miller took off and said, well, forget that. I got the puck, man.
So Langenbrunner taking the draw yet again here for Utah in the offensive zone, but it's won by the Ducks. They'll try and play it along the boards. He's going to try and send it into the middle, but it's taken away by the stick there of Brosilovsky. He carries it across the red line and into the zone, across the blue line, winds up for a pass. It's deflected wide. Utah will take it over, and they'll skate it out of their own zone. It's sent all the way in there by Miller into the corner, and Ethan Light will chase after that puck. Point pass to Mickle. He skates around a man, has a backhand shot, and it goes wide. He'll follow up his rebound and go into the corner. And he'll be doing battle with the Duck there. It looks like it's Monroe, taken away by Ethan Light. He skates it, peels around the opposite way, does the same thing again, and it's eventually taken away by the Ducks. It's Glass, and Utah will reset after taking over possession. Again, it's Mickle. He's pinned up along the boards, and it's played up against the boards and around behind the net. Moeller, is on that puck.
I know it's been a while. You've been gone for a while.
Yes, yeah, I gotta get
back in the groove. Yeah, back in the groove.
Usually got these numbers memorized. Yeah, it's good to be back. Though, like I said, Moeller, a one-time pass to nobody, though. It's taken away by Oregon. It'll be Goggin. He'll skate it forward. Dumped in, gloved up by Anderson. He's just going to hold it as there was some pressure being applied there by Crows, and the clock's going to stop for the second time here. 18:27 to go in the first period.
We also we have a special guest for you all tonight. We're going to be bringing in Mallory. Mallory's been a longtime fan, and we're going to talk a little bit about how she became a fan of the program, and she also has a very special ranking list that a ranking system she's come up with. We're going to be talking about that.
Absolutely. It's great to have Mallory on the broadcast. Welcome. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. This is this evening, as we didn't have a number one game today. It got canceled, pushed back to 10 p.m. That M2 game, as I was mentioning, against Washington. But Oregon takes over possession of the neutral zone. They'll play it forward. It's skated all the way into the corner. Utah tries to take over, but its pass is deflected. A backhand shot hits off of the stick and deflects up into the netting and out of play.
So Mallory, say hi to the folks.
Hi, everyone.
Mallory, what high school are you at?
I play sports for West Jordan High School.
Okay, they have some good sports programs, right?
Yeah.
So how'd you get into hockey of all things?
My brother grew up playing hockey, and so when we moved here, we just come from Vegas, and so we moved here and found the college hockey program really quickly and really liked it.
And when I first met Mallory, sure enough, she was wearing her Las Vegas Golden Knights gear.
Heck yeah. Really great team.
Or maybe that was your mom. I can't remember. Somebody was wearing, your mom. Somebody was wearing Las Vegas Golden Knights.
Puck goes behind the net. Oregon will take over as the defender can't quite find the puck, and Utah applies some pressure, forcing Oregon to act swiftly here. They get it out. Noonan takes it over. He dumps it in, hits the back of Arminen there. Jackson will skate it deep into the corner. He'll pinch up a little bit as a defender. He's got Miller behind him there. Point pass to Noonan. Over to Light, a shot just wide. And Utah will reset. They play that through the logo. Light forced to dump it in, and it'll be Server who comes out of his net to play the puck. It's taken away by Bryce Miller. He's at the goal line. The puck deflects as he picks it up again. Miller a shot, hitting a defender and going behind the net. Langenbrunner fires one from the goal line, and it'll be deflected. Clements' a shot. It's tipped in front and sent out the other way. Another shot deflected again, and it'll be picked up by Ethan Light. skates it across the blue line. He's at the high slot there. It has a shot, and it just goes wide. It's going to be kept in the zone by Clements. Clements down low to Miller. Back to Clements, who winds up a wrist shot, and it's deflected off of the shin pad there of Pultz from Oregon.
Utah's getting a lot of chances, a lot of shots on this particular drive. They've managed to keep it in this Oregon zone for quite a long time.
And they're continuing the attack here. It's Miller. Puck on his backhand. He has a shot. It's deflected, and it goes behind the net. Oregon tries to take over. Good forecheck from Miller, and puck sent out. Clements with the puck. This defensive pairing been out for a little bit now. Here comes Ethan Light into the zone. Head fake, high slot, still stick handling, and it's poked away by the Ducks. Slap shot from the point is deflected wide, and the puck will slide out of the zone, forcing Utah to reset.
That was a big slapper by Sam Brickley. He just wound up. You could see it coming. He just wound up and let fly.
Gibney with the puck, skating with it. Moeller a shot. It's deflected wide. Music plays it down low. He gets the pass right back. A shot hits the shin pad of a defender. As it's Brickley sending it down low for Gibney. Music takes over, has a shot, hits the shin pad of Glass. He's still skating with it, has another shot. It's deflected up and out of play after hitting the stick of an Oregon defender.
Boys, Utah's really having a flurry of shots here. We were talking about that at the showcase. There was actually Arizona State, the Arizona State game where Arizona State was doing the same thing to Utah. They were getting multiple chances in the Utah zone, and Utah was just having trouble getting it out of the zone.
And yeah, how about that? That's just those Arizona State games. That's a program, or not a program sweep, but a season sweep for the Sun Devils. They take 2 from Utah in their building, and they come up here in Salt Lake City and take 2 from Utah. That's obviously not the type of finish you want if you're Utah and if you're head coach Morgan Feeney, but that's an impressive result from an Arizona State team that Utah thought they could run with, as they've had I think they split with Arizona State last season. They won 1 there and won 1 here. But a little bit of a discouraging result, but Arizona State fielding a good program this year.
Yeah, Arizona State, again, as you said, they're right now they're 6-0, and they actually have lost a couple, but right up there with UNLV and Central Oklahoma.
And here comes Utah. They're just going to skate it forward here. It's Gephardt. Peels back. Puck deflects off a stick and bounces into the opposite corner. Arminen. Puck's deflected. Gephardt chases it. Noonan. Centering pass is deflected wide. It was intended for Jules Donovan. He picks up the puck in front after a good interception, but didn't have quite enough room to take the puck back on his stick and have a shot. Utah attacking, a nice pad save by Server, and the next shot hits the side of the net. Arminen plays the man there, still has the puck. Point pass to Jackson, who winds up a wrist shot, blocker save by Server. Donovan skating it in, passing it back up to Jackson, who winds up and makes a nice save. But the clock stopping here at 13:42 in the first.
So we have another set of brothers this year. So Logan Jackson, number 6, is being joined this year by Garrett Jackson, number 10, his brother. So now we have 2 sets of brothers on the team, the Lights and the Jacksons.
Yes. And there's a slap shot from Ethan Light, but it's deflected. He'll pick up the puck again after it bounces around. Miller in the high slot, a shot. Looked like it was a blocker save by Server, but the puck ends up in the hands of Ethan Light, who skates it up at the top of the blue line. Nice pad save. Rebounds loose in front as Miller tried to put that one home, but couldn't quite do so. It's Ethan Light who controls, skates through 2 Ducks there. As puck go all the way to the point, it's Kenyon Carter who passes it over to Clements. It's dumped all the way in. Utah will not change. Langerbutter makes a move, but it gets caught up in the skates there of Miller. Clements. Now it's Ethan Light, seeing extended time tonight. And the puck's played up off the boards and out. Langerbutter skating it down along with Carter.
interesting, looking at the Oregon goalie, Matt Server, he's actually third on the list in terms of minutes. And so there's a couple of the goalkeepers, Austin Madge and Hank Bradford, who have more minutes, but they didn't come on this particular road trip. So Matt's going to get plenty of time on the ice this weekend, I suspect. The other backup goalie is going to be Roddy Peterson. So maybe we'll see him tomorrow night.
Yeah, they might be doing a split time situation and might have one goaltender not travel.
And I thought I'd point out, Oregon's got some pretty impressive stats for the goalkeepers. The two who didn't travel, Austin Madge is leading with 8.78 save percentage. Hank Bradford is at 8.892, and then Matt Server actually has got a better save percentage than those two. He's at .847, so pretty impressive.
Yeah, Oregon probably, this season probably having to. I say this as a joke, but it's kind of true. Traverse the country. I mean, when you're an independent, Utah knows this all well. They played a lot of games up, in North Dakota. They played games, obviously in Colorado, but also out in the Midwest. They made some Michigan trips. Made some, some Illinois trips, some Missouri trips, and some Far East Coast trips as well. I mean, you have to do that when you're an independent. You have to find games to play. And like I said, you don't get those guaranteed matches and those guaranteed trips returned to you as an independent. Utah this year actually going to return the trip to Oregon. Last year they did not because Oregon was an M2 team. Less of an obligation to return the trip. But now these two teams at M1, Utah will return the trip this year. They'll make a trip up to Eugene in the second semester and play there for the first time in what will probably be, I'd have to go take a look at the Utah Hockey archives, but I believe it'd be the first game up in Eugene in over 6-7 years. There's a big hit along the boards, and whistle's going to blow. It's going to be a penalty against Oregon. Gibney hit the boards hard there. Good to see him up on his feet. It's going to be a roughing call, I believe.
Or maybe cross-check.
Or cross-check. Okay, I thought I saw it. Referee.
It was a pretty high hit, too. He aimed up pretty high.
Yeah, penalty's going to be on Hunter Voiles, number 6.
Close to a headshot, so.
Yeah, and Utah making a really encouraging trip out to Missouri. I mean, that is one of the better teams historically within the last couple of years in this WCHL conference. That's one of the best teams that you see. Granted, you look at the stats there from Missouri State this year, not as high as they typically are, but those are, anytime you could sweep on the road, that's an impressive performance. That's why I bring up Arizona State sweeping Utah here in not an easy place to play.
Right. And that, Utah-Arizona State rivalry, it is harder for the Arizona teams. Both Arizona and Arizona State have a harder time here than at home, but not this time.
Yeah, Arizona State showcasing their skills. Here comes Utah, a shot by Bryce Miller is deflected up and out of play. As I was, I was following the games at Arizona State, was bummed with the result, and I said, you know what? We still have 2 games at home. We could very well sweep them at home, and Arizona State's for real this year. That's going to be a team that most likely goes to nationals. I don't know if they'll necessarily win the conference, but I think that's going to be a team that goes out to Boston this year and plays for the national championship, because that is a very skilled team. It's a shot from the point. It's deflected by an Oregon defender. Another shot flies through the slot and
I think we could give both UNLV and UCO a run for their money this year. Arizona State could. They really look that good.
And that's
I think I talked about the Jackson-Knutson line. They just, between the two of them, I think they scored 7 points against us in 2 games.
Yeah, and like I said, if you're Utah, very frustrating. As here comes Ethan Light into the zone, he peels around behind the net. Point pass to Langenbrunner, has a shot, it's deflected, and it'll be picked up by the Oregon Ducks. They'll backhand it up and out of play to kill the penalty. 50 seconds remaining on the man advantage for Utah. Utah yet to see UNLV at home, yet to see U of A at home, and so those are more conference games on home ice that they will see next semester.
We'll also play University of Central Oklahoma at home.
Yes, and those are going to be huge games. Those are conference games. Those are you get one home series against, so the WCHL is made up of 2 divisions. You play everybody in your division home and away, and then you play one team at home in the Eastern Division and one team on the road. Utah already had their road series in that Eastern Division. That was against Missouri State. This year, their home series is against defending league champion Central Oklahoma. As that puck stumped all the way into the corner, it'll be Muller who takes it over. Mickle behind the net skates it. The power play just about up here for Utah.
Yep, and Oregon kills the penalty.
Good job by the Ducks to defend it, or to kill an early penalty on road ice. They made a long trip. As we mentioned, Eugene is not close by any stretch. They are, I believe it's a 13 or 14-hour bus trip up there.
Oh, is it? Oof.
Yeah, it's not close. And here come the Utes. It's Donovan who winds up a wrist shot and a good save by Server.
So Mallory, tell us a little bit about this unique ranking system you've come up with, which I was only just introduced to last night by our GM.
Yeah, I started like a few years ago, and then I don't actually know why I started. I think I just kind of thought like all hockey players were like really hot, you know? And so then I started like looking at them more and more, and I was like, I should just make a ranking off of this, and I've been doing it ever since.
There you go. The hotness list, we're calling it. Whoop, looks like a penalty. Yep.
Penalty.
Oh, it's going to be on Utah. Yep.
Interference. Looks like that'll be Clements who will head to the box here for Utah.
So how do you, like, what's your system? How do you do this ranking system?
The past few years I've just like looked at them enough and then tried to rank them. But this year it's been like, it takes a lot of time that way when I just sit down to do it. And so this year I have like different ways to like rank them, you know, and I give them different points and have like hotness points off of people just by the way they like hold themselves, you know, and how they play.
So it's not just one number. You actually have categories then, like multiple. Oh my goodness, this is pretty sophisticated.
Yeah, shot from the point from Oregon. The puck's bouncing around. They're on the power play now.
Boy, I think Anderson kind of got screened on that one because he reacted a little bit late on that shot.
The Andres here for Oregon, dropping it off for his teammate. Big hit in the corner, and the whistle will blow yet again. And
oh boy, here we go. Look, it's a barn dance.
Referee's got his hand up. There will be a penalty, and I believe it'll be against Utah.
Oh, so we're at a minute 27 still on the first penalty against Clements, which means that they could end up having to play 3-on-5 for almost a minute and a half. And sure enough, it's Cole Music.
He'll go to the box. Might be a penalty against Oregon, too, if there was, I couldn't quite see.
Oh, post-whistle?
Post-whistle activity. The Oregon captain, number 23, Austin Pultz over there talking to the referees.
And now Logan Jackson comes over.
And the halftime score update, 17 apiece from Las Vegas between Utah and Southern California. And talking about the assessed penalties, looks like Oregon won't get one. And like Anita said.
Oh, it's a 5-minute major.
So that'll be a big old penalty for Utah to kill. And there's a man down on the ice in the corner. Can't quite see who it is. The boards are blocking it. Hopefully everyone will end up being okay. The athletic trainer out there.
That explains why the 5 minutes then. So, of course, with a 5-minute major, we've said this before. Those of you who are hockey fans know that that penalty does not get nullified on a goal. So Utah is going to have to defend shorthanded 3 versus 2 for a minute 27. And then once that penalty expires, then they're going to have to defend the rest of the time, and Oregon can score as many goals as they can get in there in that period of time.
Looks like it was number 11 from Oregon, Micah Glass. Hopefully he's okay. He was able to skate off the ice, which is a good sign. So Oregon will start an extended 5-on-3 for the next 1 minute and 27 seconds. They have a chance to open up the scoring here this weekend. So Mitchell has the puck here for the Ducks. Maybe a one-time pass, but it'll be carried. One-time pass high slot. It's bounced in front, and a pad save by Anderson. There's another shot in front. Another save by Anderson.
Blank.
And puck's bouncing around. A shot again, and a good save by Anderson. The puck bounced out.
He lost his stick for a second there.
Oregon
now he's got it.
Continue possession. They send it across the zone. Wind up, and it's blocked by a defender. Oregon still controlling here.
Boy, Oregon's number 20, Mitchell's had, I think, 3 shots, 3 chances.
Here they come to score! Oregon walks right in, and they take the lead. They open up the scoring, as I mentioned. It's a power play goal.
That's Jackson Henningsgaard.
And look, Henningsgaard will get the first goal of the night for the Ducks on the power play, and Utah digs themselves an early hole.
The man with the longest last name gets the first goal of the game. So that, of course, nullifies the 2-minute minor, which there was 40 seconds left, but now Utah has to defend for 4 minutes, 13 seconds, no matter how many goals go in. Let's see what the penalty killing unit can do now.
Face-off won by Oregon. Mitchell will have the puck here for the Ducks. He drops it back there for Monroe. Monroe skates it in, peels back, still possesses the puck. Henningsgaard at the point, staying out there after he scores his goal. There's a shot in the past the slot, and it slides right through. It's Mitchell. Stick handling, sends the puck down low. Henningsgaard again. Point pass Monroe, winds up, and good defense there from Bryce Miller from Utah. Another shot, good save by Anderson through quite a bit of traffic.
It's getting hung up there by, looks like Zach Crows and Anderson are just hung up, and Anderson's really fighting.
They score, and the referee waves it off.
I don't know what was going on, but Anderson could not stand back up.
Well, it looked like the leg of an Oregon Duck was caught in his pads. And funny enough, they were trying to get detached as each guy was saying, what the heck, call a penalty to the referee. But funny enough, the referee didn't blow his whistle until Oregon actually scored.
Right.
He waited to blow the whistle until Oregon actually scored.
And it was pretty clear that both of them were just like, putting their hands up. Look, it's not me. I'm not hanging on to the guy. But they clearly were like stuck, entangled, and couldn't get apart. I
think the whistle should have blown before then. But either way, it's not a goal. Face-off's going to come outside of the zone, and it's won by the Ducks. They'll take it all the way back. Plenty of time remaining on their power play, 3 minutes, 10 seconds. They skated forward. So here they come with some speed into the zone. Behind the net, the puck is skated. Oregon can't quite keep it in. A nice defensive play there from Gephardt. Gephardt applying some pressure, forcing Oregon to go all the way back in their own zone, and it'll be Andres. The Ducks skating it. Nice active stick there from Jackson, but Andres still possesses. One-time pass in front, saved by Anderson. Henningsgaard with the puck, dumps it in. Glass chases after it. Point pass to Henningsgaard. A shot, and it's gloved up by Anderson. About halfway through the power play here for Oregon. 2 minutes, 25 seconds, 2 minutes, 24 seconds remaining in their man advantage.
So Oregon, I mean, they are a new team, but they also have been pretty good about recruiting. They've got quite a few Canadians on the team, and typically Canadians are usually pretty good hockey players. It's also interesting, they've got quite a few local kids. Like I see a lot of hometowns saying Eugene, Oregon, the Dolls, Eugene. Portland, Springfield. So a lot of homegrown talent mixed in with some, looks like Canadian talent. There's even, looks like Lake Placid, New York.
And, I think it's every head coach's goal to keep the talent that's, in your home region there. Keep them there and develop that talent. You don't want guys, from the Willamette Valley going anywhere else to play hockey if they're going to play college hockey at the ACHA level. So keeping the talent home is a good thing, and you see it from Oregon. There's one-time pass in front, and it's a save by Anderson. Puck's still bouncing around, and it's loose. Ducks pick up possession, and they'll continue. Pass across the zone. It's Monroe. Andres at the point, stick handling it. Across the zone it goes to Broslovsky. Broslovsky whiffs on a feed pass there, but they'll maintain possession. Past the point, Andres is wide. Rebound is popped right over the net. Utah can't quite get the puck out of the zone. It's Monroe. Pass across the zone. Monroe on the puck once again. Sends it down low to Broslovsky. Goal line pass to Glass. Glass winds up a shot. He scores! It's tipped in front, but Oregon takes a 2-0 lead, and it comes from the stick of Micah Glass.
Okay.
Was tipped. Maybe another player will get credit for it.
Yeah, I was thinking it was tipped. I couldn't see. It was a nice shot. I couldn't see who tipped it, but certainly Micah Glass got the initial shot off. So he gets his revenge, right? He was the person who went down on that hit from behind.
I believe so.
And comes back up to score against the Utah, makes Utah pay. So Oregon now has a 2-goal lead at 3:30 in the period.
And silencing the home crowd here.
Yeah, they're pretty quiet
That's a good start. Any head coach would tell you if you can get 2 goals in the first period on the road, that's a good start for a weekend series on the road, and the hole for Utah gets a little bit bigger to climb out of.
I don't think this was the start Utah was expecting.
I don't think so. I think Utah, maybe coming in expecting to beat up on Oregon as they're a newcomer to the M1 level, and like I've mentioned before, Utah knows all about that.
And Oregon still has 33 seconds to get another goal in if they hustle. So Utah has to stay on their toes. They're still a player down.
Both goals coming on the man advantage for the Oregon Ducks. As that puck is sent out of the zone. It's Green. Backhand pass is sent the other way by Utah, and Miller will chase after it. 2 players going to the corner. It's Slayton fighting for it for Oregon. And the Ducks will win the puck and skate it out with some speed. Their power play's ending. Music comes out of the box. And he picks up the puck at center ice. He skates it across the blue line. He gets the puck in deep. Miller pinned up along the boards by a couple of Ducks. And they will win the puck and skate it out.
Whoops, offsides.
And that'll be offsides against Oregon, and Utah now back to full strength.
So Mallory, this ranking system, how deep does it go? 10, 25?
Well, I ranked them off of the way.
They should just score! It's Gephardt who skates it in on his own and tucks it top shelf, and the Utes get one back.
Well, that didn't take long, and pretty much, Gephardt just hustled across the line and just beat everybody, including, our goalie, Oregon's goalie, Matt Server.
Yeah, he skated right up the near side ice here and tucks that shot top shelf. Really nice wrister, blocker side on Server, and Utah is on the board.
I think Gephardt saw that Server actually had slid over to his near post a little bit too far and left that corner open over the blocker, and he just tucked it right in there.
And
whoops, there it goes.
Place gets a little bit louder.
There we go. That woke the crowd up.
I'll get the fans involved. 2 minutes to go in the first period of play between Utah and Oregon. Oregon getting both of their goals on the power play. Utah just getting one back.
And it's still plenty early. There's plenty of time to get caught up. Ooh, nice shot there.
Is saved by Anderson.
Henningsgaard looks at the ceiling thinking, maybe I should have skated a little more because I had room, and instead I just blasted it right into the chest protector of the goalie.
A little bit of a break for these two teams as you get that Thanksgiving weekend off of hockey. So it's been 2 weeks since Utah has seen game situation, obviously. So maybe a little bit of a slow start. Puck goes all the way down, and if you're Utah, realistically, after getting swept, if you get swept by an opponent, what I mean by that is a season sweep, right? You lose on the road and at home. That basically knocks you out of contention for the conference championship. So if you're Utah, you're not getting a bye. I know that's not the mindset you necessarily want to have because you want to think you can win the conference, but like there's very little margin for error in the WCHL, and if you drop 4 conference games,
especially like you said, a sweep to an opponent, an in-conference opponent.
Right. It's going to be very, very hard to make a run for that conference championship. So for Utah, you're going to need to get in that top 15 area to be safe. Last year they were, I think, ranked 19 in the final rankings or 20, and they missed out because of some of the auto bids. So for Utah, this game really does matter because at this point you're playing to that ranking algorithm that we've mentioned before.
Right. The conference championship is out of reach. So
Moeller, a nice little move. He shoots it wide, but yes, the conference championship most likely out of reach. But
unless everybody else just loses to like 4 people, four games to the conference rivals.
A couple weeks ago, Utah was actually in first or second place in the conference, which that is a little bit misleading because there's a lot of games at hand for Nevada, Las Vegas, and Arizona and Arizona State. Utah's played the most conference games out of anybody so far.
That's the other hill that Utah is now facing. Is they've played most of the games, many more of the games that will give them those points. Whereas Nevada and Central Oklahoma have a lot more games left to play.
Right, and I love the way Chris Perry does the standings on the WCHL Twitter. Very well done.
Me too.
Because he lists all the way on the right side of the standings how many points have been lost by a team. And Utah has lost the most points so far out of any team. So they have a little bit of an uphill battle to climb a little bit, as Anita mentioned. But, you might want to – you don't want to count on winning the conference championship. If that happens, that's fantastic. But, you do have a little bit of an uphill battle. And playing all those conference games early on in the season, that's great. But, you didn't perform to those expectations that you would hope for. So there's a battle to climb, and so that's why you got to, get some goals against Oregon here in the next couple periods. But that's about all the time we have left here in Salt Lake City for the first period of play. We thank you for tuning in. 20 minutes have been played. It's Oregon 2, Utah 1. We'll be back with more hockey from the Salt Lake City Sports Complex after the break.
Welcome to the Rocky Mountains.
Welcome to open trails and new vistas.
Welcome to stunning Red Rock.
Welcome to the greatest snow on earth.
By the tree of broken glass, where the home.
Welcome to game day fun.
Anything could last. So let's go and take the words that we know.
Welcome to the party.
Of thoughtful dreams. But if you listen, you can still hear.
Welcome to Pac-12 Sports.
Our names, calling out our names.
Welcome to world-class research.
We'll keep on standing tall. This world is in our hands. So get up and grab your
Welcome to the arts.
have no trail.
So I'm guessing they probably played some youth hockey together back there in the Bay Area of California.
Yeah, they might have. You see a lot of these guys. It's kind of surprising. There's a lot of guys who meet up after the games and talk to each other. These are guys that, the Western United States is a big place, and a lot of these guys somehow know each other, and just goes to show you that hockey is a very close, tight-knit sport. But we're off here in the second period of play between Utah and Oregon from Salt Lake City, as Utah will start with possession of the puck. It's Noonan who plays it around the boards to Light. Light is checked there, and Poltz tries to take it over for Oregon, but it's picked off by Jackson. He sends it across the ice to Noonan, who picks up the puck along the boards, dumps it in. Langenbrunner will chase it. He sends it around behind the net, and the puck is dumped out. Jackson to Langenbrunner, who will just sky that puck up into the air, and it'll be gloved up after an awkward little bounce by Server, as 40 seconds have expired in the second period of play.
Yeah, so Utah, I was surprised. I'm sure head coach Morgan Feeney was surprised at the slow start for Utah. I did not expect Oregon to score first, and I expected even less to Oregon then be up 2-0 before Utah got on the board.
Yeah, I mean, like we were saying last period, that's a big deal for Oregon to come out here and score 2 off the bat. Obviously, Utah got one back pretty quickly, but either way, Oregon coming out playing pretty strong. Granted, both their goals are on the power play so far, but that just shows that they're taking advantage and that Utah has to stay out of the penalty box if they want to find success against this Oregon team.
Right. I mean, Oregon comes in here ranked quite a bit lower than Utah. Last ACHA ranking, they were ranked at 31, and Utah is ranked at 22.
And there'll be a penalty against Utah as a hit there from Kenyon Carter is going to go for a penalty. He is not too happy about it. And Carter will go to the box, and it'll be a slash. Interesting. I thought it would have been a trip. That player crashed right into the boards.
Right. Usually when you slash someone, it's like you hit him in the arm or something,
right.
And a trip is typically you hit him in the legs, but that's the call. And still 2 minutes either way.
And Oregon will go back to the power play, where they've been successful twice so far this evening. Monroe at the point pass to Goggin there, and it's deflected by a Utah stick and sent the full length. Server comes behind his net, and Monroe will get things started as he drops it off there for Hinensgaard. Puck hits the skate there of Nick Mitchell. The puck is deflected up and out of play. Oregon will get a change. So will Utah. Our scoreboard indicates 14 shots apiece thus far in the contest.
Wow, even up. That also surprises me. I didn't think that Oregon had that many shots on goal in that first period.
And I think Oregon, they bring a lot of new guys in this season, because last season I remember looking at the roster, and it was I think there might have been one local player. As here they come into the zone. But as Anita mentioned, there's many more local guys on the team this year from, the Willamette Valley and in the state of Oregon, and keeping that talent in-house. And they do a really good job getting Canadians, too. I mean, you are much closer to Canada than you are down here in Utah and Arizona and Las Vegas, right? You have Vancouver. You have that whole metro area to recruit from, and there's a lot of great hockey players who come from Vancouver, as it's a very storied hockey city up there in Canada. I mean, most Canadian cities are, but Vancouver being one of the biggest cities in Canada, there's a lot of hockey being played up there, and they get a couple of guys from BC on their team, I think.
They do. Yeah, a couple. Well, one of the goalies who didn't travel is from BC, but also you've got, looks like Dayton Clark, and there's one other. Oh, Nick Mitchell, number 20, who's been getting a lot of time. There's even somebody from Ontario. Number 9, Monroe, is from Ontario, which is a bit of a ways away.
Yeah, that's Eastern Canada, so that is a bit of a ways away from Oregon. Like we said, Oregon way up in the northwest up there, and you know, they're the only M1 program in the Pacific Northwest, so it makes, you know, trying to get into a conference a lot harder. But
oh, right, that's a good point, because all the Washington teams are M2.
Yes.
That's right.
And so, yeah, in fact, the University of Washington that's here playing
Tonight.
this weekend, right? They're an M2 program, and Oregon just recently making that leap. And, you know, I think it's good to see them do that. Don't let your geographic location stop you from trying to become a better program and playing at a higher level, but it just makes it that much harder to join a conference. And you know what? Hopefully that's the start of many more Pacific Northwest universities making that leap from M2 to M1, as Washington could probably very well do so, and Washington State and you know, all these other schools. And I believe, I could be wrong on this, I've done some research on it before, it's been a while since I've actually done the research, but I believe the University of Oregon is the only hockey team, the only ACHA program in the state of Oregon.
I believe you're right.
Oregon State does. I was surprised to find out that Oregon State does not have a team.
No.
And so University of Oregon, I think, is the only ACHA program in the entire state of Oregon. So that's why, you know, you could get a lot of players. There's a big hit there from the Ducks as Oregon takes over. Utah was able to kill that penalty, as I was talking there about Oregon.
And it's interesting, too, because the youth hockey, the community hockey in those two states is kind of spread out all over. Like, for example, Washington is another quite large state, as many of them are in the West. They have a pretty strong youth hockey program in eastern Washington. Yet Western Washington, not so much.
And you would think the opposite, because there's more people.
There's more people
in Western Washington, right?
Right. But you know, and I got that from somebody who's from Eastern Washington. I don't remember who I spoke to about it, but it's a player who's from Eastern Washington who was telling me that. Yeah, and
I never would have guessed that.
They also have the Spokane Chiefs, which is a major junior. No, not a major junior. They are a minor league
WHL team.
I don't know. I thought it was, but no, I don't think so. I don't think Spokane Chiefs are WHL. I'll have to look it up. Now that we've actually brought it up on air, I guess I better go look it up. Let me go look it up.
I think
because the Thunderbirds is a major junior team. It's a WHL team.
Right.
And actually, you may be right. There may be Spokane Chiefs as well.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of like WHL hockey teams up there in the Northwest, as obviously it's called the Western Hockey League. So there are a lot of Canadian Northwest teams, and as well as American Northwest teams up there.
The big difference is those WHL teams. They're really, you know, they're farm teams for the NHL. So those kids are not local, most of them.
So here comes Oregon, a breakaway. They skated in here. Oregon on the breakaway to shoot. Good save by Anderson as he takes that puck away. He coughed up a rebound, but he covered it up immediately. A good chance there for number 19, Jacob Sanger. And
good defense by Carter, too, to ride him off so he couldn't pick off the rebound.
Right.
Ride him off so he couldn't
absolutely. That's a huge play, actually, by Kenyon Carter there to deflect that rebound and make sure Anderson's able to cover that one up safely without issue. As Utah wins the draw, they send it around the zone, and the puck skitters out. It's Mickle, who's pinned up along the boards by Glass. He sends it around. Mitchell chases after it, and Utah takes over once again.
And you are correct. The Spokane Chiefs are indeed a WHL team, so they are a major junior team, and it looks like their parent club, it's not quite clear, but I believe their parent club is actually the Canadiens.
Montreal, okay.
Yeah, that's kind of a long-distance affiliation there.
That is. So here come the Utes. There's a shot, good save by Server, and he'll cover that one up.
Got a little bit of a social hour post whistle between Gibney and somebody else on. Who is that? Nick Mitchell. Speaking of Canadians from British Columbia, from Fernie, British Columbia, Nick Mitchell.
Oh, I'd like to go ski up there someday. BC's got some fantastic.
Oh man,
skiing.
The mountains are gorgeous out there. I've been to Whistler and Blackcomb. I love it up there.
Gorgeous area of the country, and
the runs are really long.
There's a shot gloved up by Server.
The runs are really long. You can actually get tired on your way down and just have to take a little break.
And yeah, this is us from Utah, where it is also fantastic as well. I mean, we have great snow, but yeah, the very scenic area of the country up there. You know, starting there in Eugene and all the way up the coast. as that faceoff's won by Utah, but Oregon was able to take over and get the puck out of their own zone. And Gephardt will pick off a pass and stick handle along the board, sends it in, it's bouncing, and it'll be gloved up by Server before any Utes can crash the net.
Well, it looks like, Utah has picked up the pace a little bit, I think, the beginning of this period. So hopefully head coach Feeney had a little chat with them and said, come on, boys, we're not showing our best stuff here.
And I can imagine he was pretty animated after the first period of play.
I can imagine, too.
I think it's, he doesn't want to see his team. No coach wants to see their team give up 2 goals in the first period, but this is a team you know that you can beat from last year. I'm not saying that that this team is thinking that Oregon's a pushover, right? They're not just going to beat them easily, but I know he has tremendous respect for it. Utah and the coaching staff and these players have tremendous respect for this team, as you do for most of your opponents in the game. And it's just he's probably not happy. Slow start after the Thanksgiving break. He's saying it's not Turkey Day anymore. It's time to play some hockey, and a little bit of a slow start from the Utes, but nonetheless, in the game currently, only trailing 1 as there's a shot that's deflected wide. Light picks up the puck, has a shot. It's deflected off of a shin pad.
Well, and you know what? I think we got to give props to Oregon's goalie Server. He's looking very good.
He is. There's a play in front. Sharp. Backhand shot. Good save by the pad of Server. Unbelievable save. You look behind him.
I know. He was like, he thought he didn't know if he'd gotten a piece of it.
Yeah, but
another good save.
In fact, he made the save. He sticks his right pad out and makes a really nice save, keeping Utah from tying the game.
I almost think it wasn't that he thought it was in the goal. I think he thought it bounced up over the goal behind him, and he was looking to see where it was going to land behind him. Yep. Yeah.
So you see Server there on the goal cam. Face-off won by Utah. It's Carter at the point, and it's deflected away by the Ducks. It's Minchin for Oregon, who has a shot, and it goes wide. Utah is able to get the puck out, forcing Oregon to reset. It's Monroe who plays it forward to Minchin, but it's taken away by Utah. Gephardt with a little bit of a lackluster pass, but it's picked up there by the Utes. Carter tape to tape over to Mickle, who can't quite handle it. It goes into the zone. He'll foul after it. He'll fall along the boards there, and Oregon will begin the counterattack. It's Monroe across the red line, making a nice move on the near side. And it'll be Voiles. A shot, and it's patted away by Anderson, picked up by Logan Jackson, who will play the puck out. Finds a wide open Gibney. Gibney stick handles over a couple Ducks, peels back over to Mickle. A shot, and good defense from the stick of Hunter Voiles to keep that shot from becoming a wide open one there for Gibney, and the puck will slide all the way down the ice, and there will be an icing against the Oregon Ducks.
Yeah, we've got some pretty skilled players on this Oregon team. Number 7, Barak Broslavsky comes to mind, and Monroe just had a nice run in that previous attack. They just probably need to fill a couple more holes, and I think they could be pretty impressive next year.
Yeah, I think, they're just going to keep competing.
Not that they're not impressive this year, because they're beating us.
Right, right. There's still a lot of hockey left to be played, and, we're obviously not on, beating Oregon right now, as I say, we did the Utes, but, I think it's a team that's going to grow a lot, and I think you're in a good spot to improve. Like we said, there's a lot of competitive hockey being played in the Northwest, especially that Vancouver area. If you can just drive, up Interstate 5 until you hit the Canadian-United States border, you can really find some talented players up there in the Vancouver Metro. And, this team could be, like we were saying, a team that the WCHL might want because they're going to be qualifying for championships. Let's try to score! A shot from the high slot from the Utes. It's Jules Donovan, and the game's tied at 2.
That one was one where it looks like Server was trying to slide across in position, and it was kind of like he had to split his legs to make the slide, and then Donovan saw his chance and said, well, he looks like he's kind of not very mobile right now. He's got the eagle going, so.
Take advantage. And he does just that, and
Heads up play by Donovan.
Utah is filled in the hole that they dug themselves in the first period. And the game is now tied at 2.
Yeah, we're back to square one. It's a tie game.
And just about halfway through the second period. There's a big hit along the bench there from Cole Music. And the puck will go all the way down into the Oregon zone. Miller just missed intercepting that pass, and now it'll be Oregon 3-on-2 if they hurry. Here they come. It's Green chasing after the puck. Brickley along the boards there for Utah. The puck goes the opposite direction, and it's bouncing around in the near slot. Ethan Light able to get the puck out, and Poltz will chase after it there for Oregon. Poltz skating it. Continues to bring it into the Utah zone. Tries to send it through the slot, and it bounces up in the air, and that'll force Oregon to reset as the puck slid out of the zone. Miller for Utah chasing after this puck. Ethan Light pushed off the puck. They're good defense, but he still maintains possession. Skating around the goal line and behind the net. Pass to Carter, who winds up a shot. Good save. Rebounds loose in front. Langenbrunner. Was on his backhand.
Missed. Yeah, he just missed on that backhand.
And you probably credit that to good Oregon defense in the low slot there, but Server was able to cover that up and stop play with 9 minutes and 27 seconds remaining in the second period.
Still feel like, I mean, I said that Utah was looking better coming out of the gate, but boy, I tell you, they still look like they're half a step off somehow. Like something just looks like it's not, gears aren't quite clicking as smoothly. I don't know what it is.
There's a lot of key names, too, that you're not seeing tonight that you typically see on the ice, as Wyatt Light suffered a pretty significant injury on the road in Missouri. And he was a very high producing member of this team and one of the more talented guys on the ice. As Utah has the puck again, tape to tape, and the puck's deflected up and out of play.
Woo! Watch out, folks. Flying puck coming your way.
And face-off will be in the Oregon zone. Also, key defender Dylan Dix not playing in this game.
He got in trouble during the showcase. Well, not the showcase, but in the men's game that weekend, and so he's got to sit for one more game.
Yeah,
he should be suited up tomorrow. That's what I would expect.
And hopefully the team is hoping that too. I'm assuming too, because he's the captain of this team. He's a very skilled player, a skilled defender. We're seeing a lot of the new names out there this evening for the Utes, and one of those new guys, Jules Donovan, making himself a difference in this game. As Gebhardt Donovan.
Speaking of which, Donovan he heard you. He decided he'd live up to his name.
He almost had a shot there, but the puck bounced right over his stick. Now it's in the Utah zone. It's Broslovsky sending it the opposite way. It's Hannon for the Ducks. Hannon stick handling. Yep. Donovan pins him along the boards. A shot, pad save by Anderson. The rebound's loose. And Andres keeps it in there for the Ducks.
That quick, hard shot was Broslovsky. Boy, he just turned around. He kind of turned on a dime and just flung it at the net.
Oregon, a shot blocker save by Anderson. And Utah just trying to get the puck out. Oregon putting some pressure on here. They're going to change, and Utah will just send it out. Here come the Ducks. Nice move there by Glass, who winds up. But a good poke check there from Donovan, who's been having a pretty good game so far.
Yeah, he really has.
Puck sent all the way down. It might have been tipped, and I believe it was. Referee waves off icing. Oregon will restart it. So here they come. Hinensgaard. Puck poked away. Hinensgaard again. Pass over to Minchin. A shot, and a good save by Anderson as it's deflected up and out of play. Yeah,
Oregon's kind of pouring it on here in the second half of this period. I'm looking at the shot count on the scoreboard, and it looks like Utah's out shooting Oregon, but I don't think they are actually.
I think it's been a really even match so far for Utah, and it's not even Utah taking a lot of penalties. It's just Oregon's converted on the mistakes Utah's made, which is important if you're going to play at a high level of hockey. And so far, I think Oregon's been looking very good tonight. Here comes Monroe. He skates it in. One-time pass intended for Crows, but it's off the mark as the Utah defense was able to skitter back just in time. As Utah sent a stretch pass a long way, and Poltz ends up with it. He clears it all the way into the zone for Utah. Oregon dictating play here over the last couple of minutes.
Boy, they really are.
And Utah having a hard time getting it out of the zone. It's Monroe. Backhand pass, a shot.
I think Anderson got lucky on that one. That shot from
Goggin there. He made a great.
Gaggin got deflected up into the glass.
Gaggin, great shot by Gaggin and wide open there. And as we were just saying, Oregon looking pretty poised to try and take the lead. As there's a long stretch pass just out of the reach of Ethan Light. He's going to chase it down though. Doing a good job poke checking there, but nobody home for Utah as they were changing. Now to be Oregon, it's Slayton.
Oh, here they come. Here goes the drive. Nice stretch.
Here comes Oregon. Nice play. Nice couple of moves there by
Sanger. Yeah, Jacob Sanger.
And it's Mickle across the blue line. Utah on the counterattack. And a huge hit. It's Moeller. Stick handling. Makes a nice move off the boards. Moeller skating around, still dancing with the puck through the legs of a player. Carter a shot. It's loose in front.
Michael's like stabbing at it.
Utah tries to send it across the zone, but it hits the skate. And that's a good sequence there from Utah. Nearly extending, adding to their total here. It would have broken the tie.
Would have been the first lead for Utah had they got that one in.
Right. They have not led in this game yet with 5 minutes remaining in the second period.
I hope I didn't jinx them. Here comes Gibney.
Gibney, stick handling, drops it off for Moeller, who wasn't quite in the area. Gibney, spinorama are on the boards. Tries to stick handle his way out of trouble, but Oregon ends up with it after a couple of back and forth passes. Minchin dumps it in. Anderson out to play it. Jackson with pressure as he's forced to play it to Moeller, who is pinned up along the boards, and it's Donovan trying to break through. Utah wins the puck in the neutral zone. It's Noonan, peels back, and it's picked off by the Ducks.
That's Crows. And then Andrus.
Andrus with the puck now. He'll skate it across the logo. It's tipped. And Oregon will be offsides as Crows had a shot. Noonan took exception to that. You look at Noonan and number 10 there, Lars Crows, and there's quite a height differential there.
Yeah. They're just having a little friendly little chat. Noonan, like I said, I've said this before, Noonan's like one of my favorite players because he's one of the physically smaller guys.
Yes.
But it doesn't stop him from just diving right into everything there and fighting for the puck with the rest of them.
He's got quite an engine. I mean, that thing doesn't ever die.
Exactly.
The engine he's got in him, I mean, man, he just goes and goes and goes. And stand-up guy, I remember talking to him before the season in interviews. He's one of the more outgoing players, funny guy. And I can see him being a part of the leadership on this team, in the coming years.
Yeah, in fact, Mallory and her family snagged him for some photos last night, taking photos together at the Skate with the Team event last night.
As now it'll be Donovan skating it across the blue line. Nice move, a shot. It's wide. It hits the glass and goes out of play.
Arminen had a shot. It looks like Server got a little piece of that. Got a lot of pucks flying out of the rink today.
And you can see some of the University of Washington players just underneath our broadcast booth here.
Oh, they made it. Yay.
And happy to see him make it, donning
safely
the purple block W. I don't think they like seeing, I made a comment about how I like the orange and the green and yellow from Oregon. I don't think they like that very much. Those two schools really do not like each other, Washington and Oregon. There's that.
Well, at least you didn't compliment the Cougars of Washington State. That probably would have irritated them more.
Yeah, I would have irritated all the Washington fans. Oregon, Washington State. Here comes Oregon, a shot. Puck's loose in front, still loose, and it's deflected up. But yeah, happy to see Washington made it after a lot of flight delays. Utah,
their Twitter feed, they said their flight was delayed for 6 hours.
That's crazy. I mean, Utah, northern Utah specifically, experiencing a lot of snowstorms from last night into this morning. I would assume their flight was probably for some time early this morning, as that's how the ACHA teams usually travel when they fly, is they like to get there very, very early on game day. At least that's what the Utes do. And so, they probably, and there's a penalty, looks like, cross-checking against.
It's going to be on Utah. Because who is it that Sanger kind of went flying on his butt through the crease? And that's Kenyon Carter is going to sit for 2 minutes. Kenyon Carter is the top of Mallory's ranking list. I can tell you that. I don't know what rank he is, but I know he's near the top of her list. She may come back a little bit. We didn't get a chance to delve in deeper, but we'll see if she can come back and give us a little bit more.
Happy to have her on the broadcast.
And again, her family's a longtime supporter of the program. Her brother plays hockey, captain. I met him last night, and I met Tiffany, their mom, last night.
It's Poltz with the puck. It's Glass. Goal line pass. Brozlovsky. Glass once again. Oregon back to the power play where they've been successful twice tonight. Poltz a shot deflects. They score! It's Brozlovsky right there on the doorstep, and the Ducks take the lead once again.
Who tipped that in?
Looks like it was number 7.
Oh, Brozlovsky.
Barack Brozlovsky for Oregon, and
yeah, because he was kind of hanging out there on that far post corner. Not sure who was supposed to pick him up, but I think maybe somebody missed their coverage there. Got a little conversation here with the officials.
I think they might be talking about a kicking motion because it looked like Brozlovsky came right. I don't think it should be waved off for a kicking motion. I think it's good that they're talking about, what happened. But I think, Brozlovsky came in and the puck hit his shin. I don't think it was anything distinct. And we don't.
It wasn't like he was trying to direct it. It was just that his leg happened to be in motion when it bounced off of his leg. So let's see what's going on. Well, it looks like it's going to stay, right?
I think it'll stay.
Yeah,
I haven't seen
they're going into position. Yep.
And yeah, there you can see that one of the referees making the kicking motion. I don't think it was it has to be with intent, and it has to be distinct.
Right.
And Brozlovsky was coming in. I think it just hit his shin pad in the direction he was traveling. It's a good goal for Oregon. They take a 1-goal lead.
Right. Oregon goes back in front. They've led this whole game, or the closest Utah's been able to come so far is a tie.
Right, and I think it's good the referees are also talking. Like I said, I'm happy they talked about it. You want to make sure you get the call right. I think they made the correct call in this circumstance. And like we said, Oregon right back to leading this game. Utah went to the first intermission trailing by a goal, and it looks like they might be doing that again heading into the second intermission. Turnover, it's Arminen in the high slot. Winds up a shot, deflects, goes behind the net. Didn't quite shoot that as soon as I thought he would.
This is one of those nights where these penalties are really starting to hurt Utah.
Really, they really, really are. I agree with you. Like it's really, really hurting them because
all 3 of them have been power play goals.
All 3 of Oregon, yes, exactly. I don't know why I can't talk today.
You're excited.
But you make a very good point, Anita. I mean, it's Utah shooting themselves in the foot, right? If you stay out of the box, do those 3 goals happen? You don't know. So, good by Oregon by capitalizing on Utah's mistakes, because they know, in order to beat a good team, you got to capitalize on their mistakes. Oregon has done just that tonight, and Utah's just got to stay out of the box.
Yep, I think that's going to be key, and especially because, as you said, we've got some key players who are normally our anchors who are sitting down tonight, who aren't dressed tonight. We expect Dylan Dix to be back tomorrow.
Yes, a lot of fresh names, as we said, and a lot of names that we might not see for a little bit longer as well. But regardless, Utah has to.
Well, we have to figure this stuff out.
Right,
you have to figure this stuff out. You got to deal with the stuff you can control. It's the stuff you can't control, that you have to just figure out how to deal with it.
Andres, point-to-point pass. It's sent deep into the zone with 30 seconds to go. Oregon controls.
They're back to full strength, but Utah's still looking like they're a player down.
It really does. Oregon is really dictating play. I think they've done so most of this period. Utah's had some fantastic chances this period, but I think I've been looking more to my right than to my left. Here comes Ethan Light. Utah into the zone. Nice move. They score! What
Ethan
a
Light
move
to Bryce Miller.
By Bryce Miller to tie the game up.
And we have a penalty.
Bryce Miller just dances around the defenders and dances around server, tucks it right above his pad, and Utah will tie the game right after I was saying they have not been playing too good this period.
They heard you and you pissed them off.
And that will be a good goal for the Utes, and what a nice pass. Great assist, great shot, and
a slashing penalty on number 6, Royals.
Utah will take it.
He was trying to fend off Bryce Miller's shot attempt, but instead he draws penalties. So for the last 5.9 seconds and then 1.41 second or 1 minute 0.4 seconds. Never mind. You know what I mean. For some time in the third period, Utah will be a man up. I can't talk either.
We had a Thanksgiving break, so
it's so much more fun now that you're back, Patrick.
Well, thank you. I love being back, and I got to learn how to talk too. We had a. You see what one weekend off does to us? I mean, oh my goodness, it's for me, I guess 2 weekends off. So we need. I guess Utah had a slow start. We're having maybe a little bit of a slow start up here in the booth as well, but. Thank you for watching the first 2 periods here from Salt Lake City. It's been a great, entertaining game so far. A lot of goals being scored. If that's any indication how the third period will go, you should tune into this game. We'll be back after the break. Utah 3, not marked on the scoreboard yet. Utah 3, Oregon 3. We'll take a break. We'll be back just after these messages.
Welcome to the Rocky Mountains.
Welcome to open trails and new vistas.
Welcome to stunning Red Rock.
Welcome to the greatest snow on earth.
By the tree of broken glass, where the hope.
Welcome to Game Day Fun.
Anything could last. So let's go and take the words that we know.
Welcome to the party!
Of thoughtful dreams. But if you listen, you can still hear.
Welcome to Pac-12 Sports.
Our names, calling out our names.
Welcome to world-class research.
We'll keep on standing tall. This world is in our hands. So get up and grab your
Welcome to the arts.
Tough, no trap. We are tough as nails. Come on, this is our land.
Welcome to Real World Experiences.
We can go to that bridge that crosses over fear.
Welcome to a great education.
Love and what it does to those they hold near. So let's run till the water.
Welcome to new friends.
We can toss our worries far away from our hearts. And if you listen,
Welcome to the time of your life.
not hear them calling out our names, calling out our
Welcome to all you can imagine.
Though we might fade and fall, we'll keep on standing tall. This world is in our hands. So get up and grab and walk and see. Those gray clouds look close, but we have come and gone.
Welcome to the University of Utah.
Thanks for calling the Salt Lake Visitor Center. If you have any questions, please leave a message and we'll get back to you.
Hello! I tell you what, I'm just going to put you on speaker. All right, a little about me. I'm a bit of a phenomenal skier, so I want to take my family on a vacay, which is short for vacation. Hope you don't mind the abbreviations. I'm just short of time today, so I need to sort of hurry things along. Just a few simple questions for you. They call Salt Lake Ski City, but you do ski in the mountains, right? I'm just picturing myself skiing down the sidewalk there next to the shops. Knowing my luck, I'll do one of my big flips and end up in the traffic. So I don't want that to be the case. Look, I've got to go. You're really keeping me here. Although I will say, I'm going to see your Utah Jazz play a basketball game. And I've heard there's a couple of Australians in the team. So here's my question. Are they causing you any trouble? I just had a thought. The average snowfall near Salt Lake is 500 inches. If I was to utilise all of that to build a giant snow person, would that be majestic or a bit scary? Oh, hey, listen, just quietly. I'm a big family guy. You know that, I've told you that. But after a few days with them, I'm going to need a drink. That's legal, right? I hear Utah has the youngest population of any state. So if I was to head down to one of your hot rockin' clubs or a social event, would there be a youth person in there that might be able to explain Snapchat to me? My kids just won't. I've heard there's a bit of a Sharks versus Jets rivalry between the skiers and the snowboarders. And if I made that movie, would you watch it? Oh, when was your last Yeti sighting? Are you getting all this, by the way? I'm assuming you can rewind. The Utah state bird is a California gull. I mean, even you've got to admit that is confusing. I guess that's more of a statement than a question, but still I thought I'd bring it up. Now, your Ski City Super Pass, I take it that's part of the Marvel Universe. If I get that, will people call me the Winter Soldier Man? I really wish you could see this. All right, well, this would be costing me, so I better go. Thanks for everything. Bye.
Beth from the Salt Lake Visitor Center calling you back to answer your questions. First off, yes, you can absolutely drink here. We'd prefer if you ski in the mountains, and I'm happy to call you Winter Soldier.
My name is Marguerite Van Komen, and I'm a snowbird ski patrolman. My dog's name is Frank. What a good boy, huh? What a good boy you are. I start every morning waking up and having breakfast with the dog, and then we finish every day having dinner together, but everything in the middle changes. We train them using their own instincts, so instead of hunt for dinner, they're hunting for humans. A lot of thought goes into choosing these dogs. Number one, they've got to be able to handle the cold. Number two, they got to be pretty hardy. And three, we're looking for very high drive dogs. The dog that is gonna chew your sofa up at home, we want that dog. The people, the mountain at Snowbird, it's just special. And everything you want to do is here in Salt Lake. Get off the plane, grab your gear from the luggage cart, And within 30 to 45 minutes, you're up here and skiing on snow. You know, Salt Lake is super unique. We have 4 full seasons. So you can come up, ski all morning till the snow gets a little too smushy, and then you go and hit 18 at the golf course at the bottom of the mouth, and then you can go out for a wonderful dinner and see theater. It's amazing how much you can fit into your day. And not only do we have everything that you want to do, but we have great people to do it with. Everyone wants to be outdoors, happy, and go and play. Every day is different, and I love that. I love showing up to work and going, what is on the plate today? Snowbird is my family, and Salt Lake is my home, and Frank is a great part of that. My name is Marguerite Van Komen. I'm a Snowbird ski patrolman, and I am Salt Lake.
Welcome to the Rocky Mountains.
Welcome to open trails and new vistas.
Welcome to stunning Red Rock.
Welcome to the greatest snow on earth.
By the tree of broken glass, where the hope
Welcome to Game Day Fun.
anything could last. So let's go and take the words that we know.
Welcome to the party!
Of thoughtful dreams. But if you listen, you can still hear
Welcome to Pac-12 Sports.
our names, calling out our names.
Welcome to world-class research.
We'll keep on standing tall. This world is in our hands. So get up and grab your
Welcome to the art.
top, no trap. We are tough as nails. Come on, this is our land.
Welcome to real world experiences.
We can go to that bridge that crosses over fear.
Welcome to a great education.
Love and what it does to those they hold near. So let's run till the water.
Welcome to new friends.
We can toss our worries far away from our hearts. And if you listen,
Welcome to the time of your life.
not hear them calling out our names, calling out our
Welcome to all you can imagine.
Though we might fade and fall, we'll keep on standing tall. This world is in our hands. So get up and grab it, walk and see. Those gray clouds look close, but we have come and gone.
Welcome to the University of Utah.
So get up and grab it, walk and see.
Thanks for calling the Salt Lake Visitor Center. If you have any questions, please leave a message and we'll get back to you.
Hello! I tell you what, I'm just going to put you on speaker. All right, a little about me. I'm a bit of a phenomenal skier, so I want to take my family on a vacay, which is short for vacation. Hope you don't mind the abbreviations. I'm just short of time today, so I need to sort of hurry things along. Just a few simple questions for you. They call Salt Lake Ski City, but you do ski in the mountains, right? I'm just picturing myself skiing down the sidewalk there next to the shops. Knowing my luck, I'll do one of my big flips and end up in the traffic. So I don't want that to be the case. Look, I've got to go. You're really keeping me here. Although I will say, I'm going to see your Utah Jazz play a basketball game. And I've heard there's a couple of Australians in the team. So here's my question. Are they causing you any trouble? I just had a thought. The average snowfall near Salt Lake is 500 inches. If I was to utilise all of that to build a giant snow person, would that be majestic or a bit scary? Oh, hey, listen, just quietly. I'm a big family guy. You know that, I've told you that. But after a few days with them, I'm going to need a drink. That's legal, right? I hear Utah has the youngest population of any state. So if I was to head down to one of your hot rockin' clubs or a social event, Would there be a youth person in there that might be able to explain Snapchat to me? My kids just won't do it. Now, I've heard there's a bit of a Sharks versus Jets rivalry between the skiers and the snowboarders. And if I made that movie, would you watch it? Ooh, when was your last Yeti sighting? Are you getting all this, by the way? I'm assuming you can rewind. The Utah state bird is a California gull. I mean, even you've got to admit that is confusing. I guess that's more of a statement than a question, but still I thought I'd bring it up. Now, your Ski City Super Pass, I take it that's part of the Marvel Universe. If I get that, will people call me the Winter Soldier Man? I really wish you could see this. All right, well, this will be costing me, so I better go. Thanks for everything. Bye.
Hi, this is Beth from the Salt Lake Visitor Center calling you back to answer your questions. First off, yes, you can absolutely drink here. We'd prefer if you ski in the mountains, and I'm happy to call you Winter Soldier.
Everywhere.
Yes, absolutely. After a fantastic win by the basketball program last night over number 4 Arizona.
That's right. You were telling me about that.
Looks to add on. It's Utah's in front immediately there. Had a chance, but
Miller was looking for number 2, goal number 2.
Yeah, the Utes need one more, as Anita has mentioned a couple times so far tonight. Utah has not led in this contest at any point. They've had a tie at 2 and now a tie at 3.
Arminen lets one fly.
Yeah, if you're a Utah fan, you hope that they lead at the most important time of the game, which is here in the third period towards the home stretch. always fascinating looking at, some hockey games where you see, the stats where, what a glove save by
What
the
a
server.
save. He spun him around because he was leaning the wrong way.
But, you see stats in hockey games and football games and whatever, any game where there's a time element involved. And, one team can lead, in hockey's case, you can lead the game for 58 minutes. But if you don't lead for the last 2 minutes, you lose, right? So you could just, to see Oregon, where this game has been in their favor, and they've looked very good for the majority of this game. Utah still hanging around.
Ooh, a little bit of a mishandle there by Langenbrunner.
Regardless, it's Ethan Light who dumps it back the opposite way. And Oregon will try and dump it out. It's kept in by Langenbrunner, has some space, drops it off for Ethan Light, and they'll have to slow down here and find the shooting lane. It's Landon Langenbrunner in the corner at the goal line, centers a pass. It's deflected off the stick of Minchin from Oregon. Utah controlling. They're on the power play. And, Utah tried to go for, Armin tried to go for a little bit of a Michigan move there. It's Light who has a shot. It's deflected off of an Oregon Duck there. Looked to be Strategos. And puck's loose at center ice. It's Broslovsky who scored. And he'll fall down there. Noonan loses stick from Utah.
Looks like he might have gotten whacked on the wrist, too. He's holding his arm. He skates back to the bench. That's probably stung.
And Oregon's back to full strength in the meantime. Puck's played off the boards by Jackson. Here comes Broslovsky. He skates and he's got glass, but a good deflection there from Cole Music. Jackson picked it up, and Mickle sent it across the ice. It's Gephardt who skates it. Gibney peels back. Gibney. Point pass to Music. He's at the blue line. Back over to Gibney, who winds up a shot, and it's deflected wide. It did get to the net. It was a pad save from the pad there of Server. Broslovsky playing it. Moeller takes it over there for Utah. He skates with it. Has a shot.
There
He scores! Top shelf! Luke Moeller, and the Utes take their first lead of the contest.
Well, it's about time, boys. Nice shot by Moeller, too. You could tell he had some room, so he was kind of eyeballing the space, and I don't know if he could see an opening. We're kind of at a bad angle, or if maybe there was traffic, because
wrong side.
Server did not see that coming.
It was the far side, and he nets a top shelf goal. And like we mentioned, Utah now leading for the first time. And that's a great shot from the stick of Moeller, and why not take it if you got it? And that was on the far side, as Anita mentioned. We couldn't quite see it, but that was a laser at the top of the net.
It was a laser.
And that's a big one there for the Utes. It's Gephardt who dumps it in. It's gloved up, and pressure from Utah is going to force Server to cover that one up. And Utah out shooting 27-21 right now. They've clawed back into it. Good start to the third period here for Utah. The first 3 minutes have looked very promising. Donovan taking the draw. He's had himself a good contest tonight. He's got a goal, a couple of blocked shots. Monroe takes it over here for Oregon. Plays it off the boards, and Utah will take over the opposite way on the counterattack. Here's Donovan, a shot. Good pad save.
He's looking for goal number 2.
Is he? Yeah, he had a little bit of room there to get a nice shot off. Tried to go far side on the blocker there, on the far side on the blocker side there. It's Clements. He skates with it, drops it off for Donovan. Donovan skating. It's poked away from the stick of Poltz from Oregon. Monroe plays it. Crows, but it's off the mark. Turnover, here they come. It's Armin in the shot. Good pass save by Server.
Kind of took one step too many, got a little bit too close in there, and so he had nothing but Server to look at.
Right, couldn't really get that, didn't have much room to tuck a shot around Server, so that'd be a good chance from the Utes, but nonetheless, it's only a 1-goal lead for Utah.
Insurance goal. I would sure like to see an insurance goal. That would be nice.
I'm sure Utah would like that as well. Oregon has been hanging around. I mean, I shouldn't even say hanging around. They've been leading the majority of this game, and you know, the firepower they bring, but you know, if Utah stays out of the box, Oregon's goals are all on the power play. Here comes Ethan Light. He's got some space to move. It's Ethan Light. He shoots 5-hole. He scores. Ethan Light makes it a 2-goal lead for Utah on the breakaway.
Thanks, Ethan.
There's the insurance goal we were just talking about.
Exactly.
And that's a beautiful goal from Ethan Light. Has a couple of head fakes. Doesn't do too much with it. He's not trying to be cute. All he's trying to do is score the goal. Tucks it 5-hole on server. And Utah takes a 5-3 lead. There you see it again on your screen, the replay.
Yeah, I think that was really smart because most of the goals have been high on server. He's been getting beat high.
Yes,
and so Ethan, I think he must have seen something and decided, well, if I keep it low, he's expecting up.
Right.
I'll keep it low.
Absolutely. That's a very great point to make because, like Anita just said, like those high goals, the goaltender is going to come to expect that. He's going to get ready on that breakaway, and he's going to try and expect a laser. And we talked about it on our broadcast before. You want to tuck those laser beam, wrist shots. You want to tuck them above the shoulder of the goaltender on his glove side or on his blocker side. There's nothing he can do. And Ethan Light just tucking at 5-hole because Anita said he's been expecting high all night. Great point made there, and
we have a 2-goal lead.
And we have a 2-goal lead. Absolutely. I mean, really nice move from Ethan Light. I love how he's not trying to be fancy with it, and he just tucks at 5-hole. It doesn't have to be fancy. Doesn't have to be cute. Just has to count. And the Utes will take that 2-goal lead. Now it'll be Oregon on possession. They have all of a sudden fallen behind in this contest.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Oregon responds now that they're behind.
Yes, there is some work to be done here by the Ducks.
I'm not expecting him to give up, but it's always interesting to see how teams play when they're under pressure. Under the pressure of being 2 goals behind, because it's a different kind of a game.
It is. There's a shot.
Another shot by Ethan Light.
And the Ducks will start from their own end. And here they come across the logo. Broslovsky in the blue line has a shot. Good save.
The speedster from San Jose.
San Jose speedster, maybe we can call him.
There you go.
We'll see him again tomorrow, and it's been a good game so far for both squads. Like I said, Oregon, I think, was outplaying Utah for a good majority of this game. And, Utah responded, and it was Utah just hanging around, right? I said Oregon's hanging around. I should say that Utah was the one that they hung around, right? They got 1 back. They got 2 back. They tied it up. Oregon took the lead again, tied up again. Utah hanging around, and all of a sudden they come out with some firepower here in the third period. They're looking very good as there's a shot there from Oregon covered up there by Anderson.
Interestingly, Utah actually outshot Oregon by almost 2-1, 13 shots to 7 on goal, which is not what it looked like from up here.
No.
I was really surprised to see that stat.
I do think Utah, though, this third period has looked very good. This is the Utah team that we've come to expect. This season they're looking a lot smoother. They're gelling over. They're playing very well. They're playing with speed, with poise, and sophistication. And not to say Oregon isn't. I just think Utah's turned it on a little bit. And I think Oregon's maybe regressed a little bit, getting a little bit tired. The altitude might be getting to them because, you're kind of close to sea level over there in Eugene. So
plus, this is the travel day.
Right. And it's right. Exactly. It's the travel day, right? And, it's a little bit colder here. You're higher up. And late in games, as we hear players say, late in games is when you feel the altitude. You can come here and you can play your game, early on and play very well like we've seen from Oregon, but maybe, I'm not saying they're losing because of the altitude, I'm just saying later in games is when you feel it and you get tired because you're not used to it. So when your endurance has to try and keep up with itself up here at altitude, about 4,500 feet up on the hill here in Salt Lake.
I think one thing, too, I don't know if anyone talks about this, but hydration is also really important because Utah is very dry. So at altitude, it's also very dry.
Very dry.
And so if you're not used to that, if you're coming from the coast, you're not used to that, you may not realize that you need to, make sure you stay hydrated more than maybe you would back in Oregon. Now, granted, they're inland, but it's still along the coast. It's still a lot less... still a lot more humid than here.
Absolutely. A lot more green up there as well than it is here.
A lot more green.
As Oregon takes over possession in their own end, they try and break it out.
Whoa.
Big hit there from Donovan. As he has the puck behind the net, trying to center it, and
Gebhardt goes backwards.
He was able to get it to Gebhardt, but good defense from Oregon right away to shuffle that up and get it out. As it'll be Donovan again across the blue line. It's Gebhardt over to Donovan. It's over his stick.
Misses it.
Slayton will take it over. flips that puck up along the glass. Clemens keeps it in, and almost a high stick, and then Slayton falls down there. Donovan across blue line, fights through a couple guys there, and he still skates with it. Into the corner it goes for the Ducks.
Looks like Arminen's back there now.
And
Voiles is back there for Oregon. Is that Anders coming up with it?
Yeah, it looks like Minchin there for Oregon. He's going to skate it behind the net. And plays a long pass in the neutral zone.
To Sanger.
Sanger, but it's taken away. Gephardt having a long shift.
Nice little drop pass.
Arminen, and he skates through the legs of a defender there. And oh my goodness, a big collision. Hopefully everybody's okay. We got the goaltender server down and a Ute down as well. I think it's Gephardt. They collided pretty quickly. It was a bang play, a kind of a broken play, and both guys going for it. It was a very aggressive move there from Server, the goaltender. He dove out and tried to make the save. It was a smart play, but a bang play. We hope he's okay. We hope Gephardt's okay, but yeah, a little bit like I just said. That's just the definition of a bang play. Both guys going as hard as they can for that puck. And
right, he left the crease, and he had to because he didn't have a defender back there, so he's trying to cut off the rebound from the board. Gephardt's charging hard for the puck at the same time, and they just kind of like collided kind of at a weird little angle.
And like I mentioned, I think it was a good play by Server to come out of the net and dive and play aggressive.
I think it was the play he had to make.
Right, exactly. I think it's the play he has to make. I mean, being an aggressive goaltender, that's one thing, right? You got to be aggressive, or you're just going to let it go play by and have a shot on goal or a chance there for Utah. But it was a good play. He's up on his feet, which is good to see. Gephardt's also up as well.
I almost wonder too, like the angle, the server was actually trying to come out a little away from the goal, whereas Gephardt was going a little bit straighter. So I think server kind of got a little bit twerked a little bit as well, coming out for that puck. And it looks like he is on his feet. He's got to get the all clear signal though from the trainer. Yeah, right. What day is it? Who's the president?
Are we in Oregon or are we in Utah?
Right, exactly. Where'd you park your car?
Yeah, but it looks like he's up and good to go. It's a nice play there by both players, and very happy they both skate away from that.
Yeah, Server's had an outstanding game.
He's been playing very well. I mean, obviously 5 goals given up. He wouldn't tell you that, but I think he has played pretty solid. I like the aggressiveness from him. There's been a couple of times in this contest where he's played more aggressive than the conventional goaltender style, I think. And
I just realized too, seeing him stand by the goal. Do you realize how tall he is? He's 6'4".
Yeah,
he's a big goalie.
Yeah, that's a. Well, I guess you want to take up as much of that goal as possible.
Yeah, I just realized as he's standing there by the goal, it's like, wow, he's very tall. He's a big goalie. But we're glad to see he's back on his feet.
Absolutely. 11:35 to go in the third period. Oregon chasing 2 goals after having a 2-goal lead at one point in this contest early on in the first period. And the Ducks win the face-off. It's Monroe behind the net.
He's one of the Oregon's speedsters.
I think he's a new player as well. I don't think I remember calling out his name last season when Oregon came up.
Oh yeah, I don't have your years on there. I don't actually think they were listed on this list I picked up.
We do the best with what we got, right?
We do the best with what we got. And by the way, there's no sports information director. It's like yours truly and yours truly here.
This isn't the NCAA, right?
No, yeah,
it's
right.
It's not everything on a silver platter, right?
Exactly.
Right on our desk, right?
I know, and for folks who don't know, I am a public address announcer for University of Utah, and it's so nice. You just walk up, they hand you all the stats, they give you the script. Everything's just like, here you go, and they've got like 3 people spotting, 2 people statting, 1 person's tweeting. And it's like, there's plenty of people to help. Here, we just kind of wear many hats and do everything.
Yeah, well, we should give you some credit here because you do all of it. You compile the media guides, you do all the rosters, and I'm grateful for it. So thank you. But
so
also,
we have something to talk about.
Yeah, but it goes to show you like you do all of it. It's you hand make the sheets.
Right. And I make them extra big so we can look at them.
Yes, but it's a saving grace. And you know what? I've never done an NCAA game for anything, but
you'll be spoiled.
I think I think you're up to par. I think we're better. I think we have it better. We have the Google Drive going on. We have all of it. We got all of it, and so it's just as easy as printing it out. And yeah, you do a great job. And
Patrick,
Patrick, basically you're you're a commentator, you do the broadcast, and you do all of the behind the scenes, making sure we know what names and pronunciation. So it's great, and I thank you for that, and everyone here thanks you for that too. All the viewers, I'm sure, grateful as well.
Well, I was going to say, you also bring your laptop and then let us look at live stats,
Yeah.
so I don't have to sit there and peer at my tiny little phone screen. Like, what is that? Is that a 6?
Yeah, it's.
We work together. It's all a team here. Everybody works hard together and try and give you folks as good a quality as we can. And by the way, we really appreciate your support. We've had many people walk up from out of town saying, "Hey, want to let you know, thanks so much," and we really appreciate you all.
Yes, yeah, we the kind comments, we get a lot of those from folks, from players' parents and from fans, and we really appreciate it. A lot like you were saying, Anita, a lot of these guys are no longer local, so you have people flying in from Midwest, West Coast, California, wherever it may be, and so when they're in for their weekend, they tell us, and we really appreciate it, and we hope you enjoy the product we put out there. We got our general manager AJ Bolden working hard on instant replay. He's been really wanting to get instant replay going. It's kind of been a thing.
I know you've known how long he's wanted it.
Oh, we're gonna do it this year. We're gonna do it this year, but no, we've had it in this game a couple times. I'm sure you've noticed, and it's great. It makes our job easier too. Yeah. Oh, look at this. We can actually, show what we're talking about. So it's great to see that, and the team's made a lot of forward strides. The broadcast has as well, and we're happy to do it. And, we do it because we love it. It's a fun thing to do, and we're treated to good games like this. 5-3 so far, and Utah is in the zone with the puck. And Monroe takes it over as he picked off a pass from the Utes. Stretch pass is just off the mark. Jackson got a piece of it.
Sends it right back on goal.
Server's able to stick it away and try and get his team to take over here. Noonan, pass is off the mark. Monroe skating after it. He dumps it in.
And Richards rides him into the boards. We haven't seen him in a little while. He's getting a little ice time, Evan Richards. As is Grant Kawamoto, who's just as I say that, he goes to the bench. Fine, go away then. Another San Jose guy. And the reason I'm so excited about San Jose is I'm from around those parts way back when. I was born in the Bay Area, about 45 minutes north of San Jose. So kind of excited to see the San Jose, the Bay Area, East Bay, not San Francisco, but the East Bay,
East Bay.
Represented.
And you know what? In your face, San Francisco, you don't have an NHL team. East Bay has an NHL team. They got the San Jose
Sharks.
Yeah.
The Sharks.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a big debate, actually, trying to figure out where to put that California team when they were deciding, because, I'm sure they would have loved to put it in San Francisco, but as most people realize, there isn't a lot of space in San Francisco to put a stadium. It's very crowded and very expensive. And San Jose, I think that franchise has turned out well for them.
Donovan, a one-time pass just off the mark.
Just out of Arminen's reach.
I think it has well. Right now, they're not playing so well, but from 2010 to 2020, they were one of the better teams in the NHL. They made the Stanley Cup final,
and I believe their fan support is pretty good.
Yeah, when they're good, that place is rocking. I think it's the SAP Center in San Jose. I mean, I've seen some videos from there and watching games from there, and that place is rocking. It's great to see hockey alive and well in the San Francisco Bay Area and San Jose. Here comes Minchin, a shot sticked away.
Well, you can hear that one from here. I think the other thing it's done for the Bay Area, which has happened in Los Angeles and other places that are not traditionally have a long history of hockey, is that it's really helped the community and youth hockey.
Which is, that's exactly what you want, right? That's a great point, because, where are you going to get your next generation of hockey players? Grow the game, and that's why, there's a huge focus on all these NHL teams to grow the game in their community. Because
it's like the Kraken in Seattle. The stadium is actually built to also support community hockey. That was the whole
Which is
goal.
awesome. Yes.
Yeah, that was the goal.
I believe they're actually hosting the Paquet Championships in that facility, I believe.
Oh, I think you're right.
And I also believe, I think the University of Washington now plays out of that venue.
Oh, do they get to play?
I think
kind of like
the Kraken, I think their home rink is the Kraken Community Ice Center.
That might be then like UNLV.
City National Arena down there in Las Vegas, and that's the point I was just wanting to make too. In the West Coast, obviously, there's a lot more separation between cities, and so the Golden Knights every summer, I believe, they go. I don't know if it's every summer, but they have gone on tours to Boise, to Salt Lake City, to the nearby western cities to grow the game.
Right.
They
have exhibition games out in these communities who normally would not be able to go to a game.
And I've brought this up on broadcast before in previous years because I've actually never gone and I really want to go. But the Vivint Arena in downtown Salt Lake, they host an NHL preseason game, which is awesome. And I would love to go. I haven't gone yet, but it's great that you're growing it in cities. Here comes Moeller, breakaway across the blue line. Moeller, a shot, goes top shelf, and it goes over the net. Good chance there from Utah.
Yeah, again, the Light brothers, I kind of laughed and said, so how did two kids from Manhattan Beach end up playing hockey? Well, we played for the Junior Kings, and it's like, well, you know how that happened. The Junior Kings, Wayne Gretzky started all that. I mean, before Wayne Gretzky, there was no hockey. Nobody even knew what hockey was in California. And then he came along, and so not only did it bring hockey to the NHL hockey to people's eyes, but it was the spark that ignited the youth hockey programs down there. Strong enough so that now kids from San Diego, Southern California end up playing, like they play for the Junior Ducks, they play for the Junior Kings, play for the Junior Sharks, and now they're playing, hockey at the collegiate level.
And you know what? All these, it's kind of funny. You see interviews of players who play down there in the NHL, and they're from Canada and Midwest and the East Coast. There's a shot, he score! What a shot from the point from Brickley, and Utah takes a 3-goal lead.
Well, that was a laser beam.
Actually looks like Logan Jackson.
Oh, Logan
on the
Jackson.
goal.
Sorry, Logan. Look how happy he is. That was a laser beam from Logan Jackson.
What a shot from the point from Jackson, and Utah will take a 3-goal lead.
Now, Jackson is one of those players, if I remember correctly, who played NCAA hockey before coming to Utah. And I don't know what the reason was that he came here, but he has NCAA experience.
And what a goal there from Jackson.
Yeah, what a goal.
Also, more positive news, Utah leading USC 40-24 with 4:51 to play in the fourth quarter in Las Vegas. It could be a big night for Utah sports. It could be a big week for Utah sports.
Go Utes!
As that puck's played up along the boards, and I just wanted to finish that last point. A lot of these NHL guys, I think it's kind of funny, they laugh and they're like, you know what? It's kind of funny, you wouldn't think hockey would be big in these warm cities, Phoenix, Southern California, Central California. Las Vegas. But you know what? We love playing here. I can walk to work, I can walk to the rink in flip-flops and shorts, It's not like Canada where you're bundled up, with 4 jackets and 4 layers of pants. It's not negative 30, with the wind chill.
You got to start the car 5 minutes early, get warmed enough to just get into the car and sit in the seat.
Yeah, and it's they say it's like, yeah, I go to play at a rink and there's palm trees and I'm wearing my flip flops and it's great, and that's why the game I think is actually exploding in those areas. I mean, Austin Matthews, one of the best players in the NHL, is from Phoenix, and a lot of people were really sad he actually wasn't drafted by the Coyotes, and that would have probably really helped them actually, but. He's from, he's one of the best players in the NHL right now is from Phoenix, Arizona, right? So the game is growing in these warm cities because it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to go play hockey, which involves ice, but then I'm going to go to the beach. Then I'm going to go wear my flip-flops and enjoy the palm trees and the warm weather and the sun. So it's great to see that.
Or I'm going to do my off-season training and I don't have to wear 15 layers of clothes to go do a road run.
Right. They can go and enjoy that warm weather. But
big hit here in front of us between Arminen and Mitchell. I don't know if you could hear it over our mics, but it was loud.
Huge hit right in front of the scorer's table there. And Oregon will take it over, but it's also cool to see the game grow in, rainy in, Pacific Northwest, Oregon, the Seattle Kraken, and the Oregon Ducks here.
And I do have to say that I'm old, so I would be very sad if hockey got to the point where it just wasn't being played as much in Canada. I'm still quite fond of, seeing the names like Edmonton is gone, right? But, at least we have the, Torontos and the Vancouvers and the I'm going to get Montreal. If I mention Toronto and I don't mention Montreal, I'm in trouble.
Oh yeah, that's the those are the big boys up there, the Montreal Canadiens. They're like the New York Yankees of hockey, basically.
Right.
A very storied program.
But I would be sad to see hockey leaving Canada for good.
There's Broslovsky, a pass in front, and it's deflected behind the net. You know, there's always that, you go on social media and you hear people smack talking, and it's always the American saying, you know, when was the last time a Canadian team won the Stanley Cup, right? You know, it's like, it's been a little bit, but I think I believe there might be 6 NHL teams in Canada. Regardless, it's there's not as many teams in Canada, but the game up there is definitely that's their
One thing that I do think is a little bit sad for Canadians. I don't know if you're aware of this. The Canadian university system does not offer athletic scholarships, which means there's a talent drain. Because as soon as kids are starting to look at colleges, they're going to look at the states where they can get their education paid for on an athletic scholarship. So I always wonder how that then affects how many of them end up going back home. Maybe they're not going to play in the AHL, but they're not going to maybe go home anymore. They're going to stay down south, get jobs after they graduate, and not go back to Canada, which means all that hockey talent just keeps kind of going south.
Right, and you do see that a lot. You see a lot of those players funneling into the NCAA, like you just said, and you know, there is, like you say, major juniors up there. There's very good, talented programs up there, but you do see a lot of players who want to get an education. They go play in the United States because that's how it is. But you know, it is like that. But you know, I think hockey is still very strong up there in Canada. They're very prideful of their hockey program, and you know, hopefully it stays like that up there, because that's their thing. They love hockey up there, and you know, it's huge up there, and you see a lot of talented players, you know, from Canada, and there's a reason they dominate at the World Championships, the Olympics, and whatever it may be, the World Cup of Hockey. So.
Oh, speaking of which, there is going to be a collegiate World Cup of Hockey, and there's going to be a number of ACHA players attending that. I'll go and look up some more of that information for tomorrow. I'm glad you said something about that, because we've been talking about that on the WCHL broadcast. Yeah, see the things I learned by just like listening to our own podcast. Like Chris brought it up, and I went, oh yeah, I didn't even know about that.
That's awesome.
But it's going to be played in Carta, Romania this year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it's going to be a different organizing body from previous years.
So is it then? Would it be? You know, obviously there's the World Junior Championships. That's the top. That's the cream of the crop, right? Would it be players like ACHA players who get to do this?
Yeah, so it's ACHA players who get to do this. I'm not sure how the selection process goes, but it's going to have to be a balance between those who want to go and those who can go.
Right. I'm sure travel's not necessarily paid for. It's expensive to get that far away in the world.
And you'd have to take time off from school because it's happening. Well, no, actually, it happens after this. The good news is it happens after the end of the ACHA season.
Okay, that's good.
I can't remember if it happens after school is done though, for the summer. It is a different organizing body, so I don't know again what the level is, but you're seeing teams like Sweden. I think both the Czech Republic and Slovakia have teams. Excuse me. And then Romania, as the host team, will have a team. And
Miller makes a move. He has a shot, and good save, but continue.
And there will be a team from Canada. So we're kind of hoping we get a chance to see maybe a Canada-U.S. matchup at some point in this tournament.
But that's cool, because these players obviously can't qualify for, their World Junior team. Those are, players who are going to the NHL. But to have a little bit of a lower level for players who still want to represent their country, that is awesome. I want to hear more about that in the coming time. But face-off won by Utah. They have a shot. Good save by Server right off the draw. 2 minutes, 10 seconds remaining in the third. Utah still leading by 3. In the opening game against Oregon, though, they're back here tomorrow night at 7:30. Play the same team, Oregon, M2 at 4:30, because there's no chance there could be any flight delays, because Washington is, of course, already here.
Right, and so we will have the men's 2 game tomorrow night at the usual time, 4:30, preceding the men's 1 game. Tonight, I'm sure most of you know this, that the men's 2 game is going to be following this game, originally scheduled for 10 o'clock, or with enough time for warm-ups and everything in between, so maybe a bit later than 10 o'clock.
Yes, yeah, there's about, like you said, 2 minutes left in this. We'll get the Ice Cup, we'll get some warm-ups, and we'll get that game going as soon as this game ends. There's a shot good save by Anderson. Another shot good save by the skate of Noonan. Brickley's out there as well. Part of that defensive stop.
Well, it really took Utah like 2.5 periods to finally get the steamroller going, but now they're finally taking command and as you said, playing the way we expected them to a little bit earlier in the game.
Yes.
I know they kind of leaving us in suspense there for a while.
There's a pass to Poltz, a shot, it's wide.
Looks like he maybe got that off the heel of his stick instead of the tip a little bit there. Oh!
Play a big hit. There's going to be a delayed penalty against Utah, and with only a minute and 31 to go.
Looks like that's going to be Arminen.
There's a
He's
big
trying
hit.
to go to the bench. Nope, sorry, you're going the wrong way. Turn around.
And so as this game winds down, the Pac-12 football championship also winding down. Utah destroying USC 47-24. I think some people thought that USC should be ranked number 4 in the country. Utah's making it look like they shouldn't be.
Well, you know more about football than I do, certainly.
I just like to follow all the Utah sports. It's going to be a win in hockey tonight. It's going to be a win in football tonight, a big win in basketball previously, and let's keep the good juice flowing.
For the M2.
Maybe M2 tonight as well. Big game against University of Washington. Maybe a hockey program sweep.
That would be nice. Unfortunately, the women, well, not unfortunately, but the women have a bye this weekend, so they won't be playing before the break. And then the next time they play will be at Montana State after the break, 15th of January.
So they have quite a long break ahead of them.
They do.
Like about a month and a half. So that's the thing about ACHA hockey. Even NCAA, they do play some games during that holiday break. ACHA, no games are played for the most part.
We've got 2 people in the box. So it looks like Arminen's going to get a 5-minute major, and Jackson was sent off the ice. He's already exited the.
And Arminen's also going to get a disqualification from the contest.
I didn't see what Jackson did. I just saw him skate off, and I was trying to figure out like why he was leaving because we were looking at Arminen.
You really hope they don't get a suspension tacked on and it happened with 90 seconds.
When they're ahead by 3 goals.
Right.
Guys, what are you doing, man?
There's no need for it, absolutely. And I think it was head contact is the call. There's a shot. Right. Good save by Anderson on the rebound. He had to get across the crease to make that save, and it'll now be Oregon on possession. They're going to try and get one back here. I mean, you never know. Crazier things have happened.
Well, I think, too, for Oregon, it would be important for them to get one more goal, just to get, to reduce the goal differential.
And that, I mean, every goal against Utah at this point, regardless if it's a win even, there's a shot in front, they score! It gets through!
That was a broken down defense. Music was in there trying to, poke it loose, but he was way overextended, so he couldn't stay on his feet, and he might have actually helped tip that in.
Micah Glass, another goal for him tonight.
His second goal.
Anita said, that's a broken play. It doesn't matter. It counts. And like I was just mentioning before the goal, the algorithm that is used for the rankings for the ACHA goal differential is a factor. So there you go. That hurts Utah in a way.
What do you think? Think they'll pull server now with a 2-goal difference?
You don't. I mean, there is time. There is time.
And Utah's going to still have to play shorthanded for the rest of this game.
Right. I think if they get some zone time, I think you look at it. I think you do it because the famous Chicago Blackhawks 2 goals in 17 seconds. Crazier things have happened. I don't know if you want to cover that up. You might want to dish that. I know there's pressure, but.
Well, and what happened was he covered it up. It took 2 seconds for the clock to stop because the official's not going to blow the whistle right. So he lost 2 seconds by stopping the play.
And that's customary too, just for folks who aren't aware. That is when a goaltender frees the puck, it takes a couple seconds for the referee to blow it dead, just to
They want to make sure he actually has control. It's not going to come loose.
Right. And so that takes some time off the clock for Oregon. 35 to go. Taking a little bit too much time here if they're going to want to get back into this game. 30 on the clock. They skated in. It's Mitchell, a shot. It's wide.
And server hasn't budged.
And it looks like they're just going to maybe accept defeat at this point and not pull server with 20 on the clock. Regardless, great game tonight in Salt Lake City. Here comes Monroe across the blue line. Drops it off. Picked off by Langenbrunner, and it's flipped up and out of play. And technically that would be delay of game if it wasn't tipped.
Well,
from the
it looks
defensive
like,
zone.
Yeah, it looks like it's not going to be delay of game. So somebody got a piece of it that we didn't notice.
I guess, yeah. I didn't see the referee go tip. I'm not quite sure on that, but Utah's going to win against Oregon. Game 1, there's a shot. Good block by Miller, and he's going to try and make a move and get a breakaway. But regardless, the time is going to tick out, and Utah will skate their way to a 6-4 win on home ice against the Oregon Ducks.
Boy, actually, you know, we said that, but Hannon had a shot on goal. He was looking goal. Fortunately, Landon Anderson makes the save. Makes it look easy, and Utah gets their 2-goal 6-4 victory.
And as our game finishes, so does the Pac-12 championship. Utah's Pac-12 champions in football, and Utes beat Oregon tonight. Nice night for Utah sports. Utah hockey getting a big win, and they'll be playing Oregon again tomorrow night, 7:30 here in Salt Lake City. Come out for the game if you're interested in seeing Utah hockey in person. If not, we'll be back here on the broadcast. And we have another game coming up after this. It's going to be Utah M2 versus University of Washington. Very highly anticipated game, a big game for the Pac-8 Conference. And so as the Utah Utes salute their fans, and those watching, we salute you and thank you for watching tonight's contest. Utah wins 6-4. It's Patrick McGann and Anita Tsuchiya signing off from Salt Lake City, saying so long, good night. We'll see you tomorrow, and we'll see you later for more hockey from the SLC Sports Complex.